in the first 50 years of a technology, we find out what its disadvantages are. When it's available to the masses, such as mobile phones, then we find out what the disadvantages are. So, what happened in the past to look forward to the future? When sugar became available to people in Europe, cheap, mass available, they had a lot of rotten teeth. And people were in their 20s having their teeth pulled out as a wedding present so they wouldn't suffer the pain associated with tooth decay. Because sugar was available, but the whole clean your teeth thing wasn't a thing, effectively. Well done cleaning your teeth. There were people cleaning their teeth with sugar and sticks and honey and bits of plants. But now we clean our teeth effectively. So we've solved the problem that sugar caused. What's going to be the problem of mobile phones? I think posture. Because everyone's going around going like this the whole time, looking at their phone. It also might be the interaction between people. It's less. And so there will be a percentage of people that are just used to interacting with their phone, pressing buttons. We don't know yet. These are guesses. Things that are invented will have problems in the future. The invention of the car saved the cities of Paris, London, New York, which were filling up with dead horses and horse poo, because horses were carrying all these millions of people around and defecating and urinating and dying. First, it was no problem. When the cities were small enough, wagons would come in and take the waste products out. And the human waste products, the night soil, to fertilise the fields around. And that was great, but when the cities got very large, the distance to the fields became too large for the farmers. The farmers just took the night soil from the edges of the city and didn't go to the very centre. The centres of cities were piling high until the car was invented. At first, there were electric cars. And then the petrol cars really took over when the fuel for petrol cars stopped being peanut oil and started being the petroleum, which came out of the ground much cheaper once you've got all the pipes of a refinery to make petrol and candles and plastics and all the other products we use in the modern day. But the problem came. Eventually, in the case of a car, 80 years or so before we realised that all that carbon dioxide coming out of our cars was causing a trouble. And the trouble was global warming, global climate change. It's in the news a lot at the moment. People with fires and floods and droughts, so that the crops aren't growing. We really have to sort this one out before mass starvation happens. But we're trying. Windmills, hydroelectric power stations, cars that use the electricity from windmills rather than petroleum. These things are beginning on the way. They're beginning to happen. Hopefully it will be fast enough. Plastics, though. It's been 50 years since the mass adoption of plastics, and now we're finding microplastics in our food. How we get rid of that problem, we don't yet know. But we're working on it. There are biological systems that can digest plastics. And so we're working on it. Maybe the technologies that are invented to make our lives better can be solved by other technologies. So far, so good. Fingers crossed.